Welcome students. Now we are discussing about ME 3393 manufacturing process, pattern allowance and types of pattern. Pattern allowance is always made longer than the final casting because it contain allowance due to the metallurgical and mechanical reason. The following allowances are provided under pattern: for shrinkage or contraction allowance, machining allowance, draft or taper allowance, destroyed allowance, and wrapping and shaking allowance. For shrinkage allowance, it means almost all the material used for casting work shrink or contract during the casting for the puring material to the room temperature. The liquid contraction, solid contraction construction, solidifying contraction. These are the different types of shrinkage contractions having. The shrinkage will be conducted in the three stages. First one is the liquid contraction, second one is the solidifying contraction, third one is the solid contraction. To compensate the liquid and solidifying contraction, get a riser are providing in the mold, where a solid contraction liquid always are provided on the pattern. The different metal shrinkage, different tests will be allowed. Depending upon the material, it will be allowed varying one. Cast iron for 10.1 mm per meter length, as well as the aluminum brass sheet will be allowed for to the table. Next one, machining allowance. Machining allowance is the finishing allowance is amount of dimension of casting which is made or size that provides shock of material. A casting may require the machining all over or and certain special portion. Such portion or surface on the pattern are the accrued allowance for additional for the shrinkage allowance. The amount of machining allowance depends upon the following factors: metal of casting, machining method used, casting method used, shape and size of casting, amount of finishing required of the machining portion. The ferrous metal need more allowance than the non-ferrous metal. The large casting need more allowance than small casting. The machining allowance varies from 1.5 mm to 16 mm, but 3 mm allowance most common for small and medium casting. Next one, draft allowance. The draft allowance or taper allowance gives all the vertical phase of the pattern there is. The removal of sand without damage of mold, the slight taper towards the outside of vertical phase. The mm per minute value will be added to the pattern base. The draft allowance depends on the shape and size of the pattern. Method of molding material to be molded will be depends to the change from 40 mm to 65 mm per meter for internal and external taper will be allowed for the draft allowance. The camber allowance, mostly the I section will be using for the camber allowance, or U section will be allowed for camber section allowance. Then next, wrapping and shaking allowance. When the pattern is to be taken out from the mold, it is first wrapped and shaked by the stick bit. The wooden piece from side to side. This is done so the pattern surface becomes the form, adjusting the sand of the mold. Due to this, there is a little increase of size the mold cavity. For this purpose, the negative allowance is provided for the pattern. Next, types of pattern. Different types of patterns are using for depends upon the shape, size, and the molding material itself. First of all, single piece pattern or solid pattern, two piece pattern or split pattern, loose piece pattern, hoop and drag pattern, gated pattern, match plate pattern, shape pattern, skeleton pattern, segmental pattern, and last one cell pattern. For single piece or solid pattern, only one piece will be having like this diagram shown in the figure. Depends upon the quality of the casting to be produced. It is usually made up of wood or metal. And two piece or split pattern. The pattern of complicated shape casting cannot be made in a one piece because calculates associated with the molding operation. Such pattern are made in two pieces called a split or two piece pattern. Its upper and lower part are completed in the cope and drag box. The moderate respectively. For the split pattern diagram shown in the figure. And third one is the loose piece pattern. Some pattern powdered in the molding sand cannot be thrown. Hence, such pattern are made with one or more loose piece for their easy removal from the molding box. This pattern are also known as the loose piece pattern. shown in the figure. And next one, the hope and drag pattern. It is another form of split pattern. The pattern is split about suitable surface or line. Each half of the pattern is fixed to the separate plate, and beside the pattern is how provide the molding runner and gate. Each half of the pattern is molded separately in the separate molding box shown in the figure. And gated pattern to increase the strength and reduce the tendency of scrap, and gated pattern are generally made up of metal. By using gated pattern, number of casting can be made in a time. Hence, they are used to mass production system. The selection, connection, and various pattern services are running and gated. And match plate pattern. These patterns are made in two pieces. That is, one piece is mounted on the one side and another one is other side of the plate. It's called as match plate pattern. The plate may carry on the pattern or gap of pattern molded the same way on this like in the diagram shown in the match plate pattern. And shape pattern. Shape pattern is just form made from the wooden board which shaped carrying shape into the sand around the circumference. The equipment consists of base to the one. Next, skeleton pattern. When the casting size is very large but easy to shape to few or more, when not economical to make the large solid pattern to the size. Such case, the pattern consists of wooden frame and strip. It made is called a skeleton pattern. It is filled with the loam sand with the rammed. The strict with the using of excess material and remove the exact shape of skeleton pattern like seeing diagram. And last one is the segmental and cell pattern. Segmental and cell both are the using for circular and one. Segmental pattern will be making in a ring within a segmental one like a diagram itself. Here having one pivot, center pivot having, and our radius of ring will be making in a arm end will be attached to the pattern space, and segmental making in a one circular ring one. And cell pattern will be using for producing hollow product like a plumbing component itself. Thank you.